At UCL, we have over 200 buildings across our estate, and we spend close to $48 million a year on energy alone. So saving energy and reducing unnecessary energy has a real environmental and financial impact.
In psychology and language sciences, we've been looking at energy reduction for several years now. We used the funding from the Grand Challenges to use 26 Bedford Way as a pilot project where we could identify particular areas of energy saving.
So the project was developing a living lab model to help UCL users extensive energy consumption data more effectively to reduce unnecessary usage across the estate,
which could then be applied to the wider UCL.
Our director, Sam Bolsh, came to me with the project idea, which was a living lab model, but slightly different to the living lab models that we'd done previously at UCL, which were mainly academia-led. This project was more focused on bringing professional services together with academics.
There were three main areas we thought would have the most impact. We looked at lift usage, we looked at air conditioning, and we also looked at our computer usage.
We identified certain air conditioning units in this building that actually could have been on when they didn't need to be on. But the actual journey with John and Kate was to show them how the system worked and how it operated.
The data was just in disparate sources. It was poorly labelled, so it was really difficult for us to understand what it applied to at first. By reprogramming the air conditioning unit, we were able to highlight a significant amount of savings that could be made. This amounted to 12,500 kilowatts per year, which was about £3,700 per year. Imagine if you applied that to every air conditioning unit across UCL, the savings would be huge.
So we're working on a project to reduce use of these lifts. As you can see, as people come into 26 Bedford Way here, the lifts are right in front of them. So we have a lot of transitory student users who haven't used the building before. And the stairs are tucked right around here. And a lot of people actually think they're an emergency escape.
So our aim is to collect data from these transitory building visitors who are typically students and understand how their engagement in the environment influences their decision-making between the lifts and the stairs. And then hopefully this will inform interventions which can then tackle the reduction of the lift usage.
So we looked at the computer room because it was a big consumer of energy use, and we hypothesized that by turning them off at night that we'd be able to save unnecessary energy. We looked at the data after the experiment and found that there was little difference between turning them off completely versus putting them to sleep. So it was a helpful way for us to understand what interventions worked, but also what interventions might not have as big of an impact.
The findings of the project have been passed on to UCL senior management. It's also been passed on to estates with the hope that it will be disseminated widely across the individual departments where they can act on their own priorities.
Universities have a really unique position and responsibility because they have access to all of this education, research. So it makes them a really unique place to be able to drive innovation in sustainability.
Not only are we saving money, we are contributing significantly to improving the sustainability of both UCL and the wider world.